It's a beautiful day for baseball, and live from Miller Park in Milwaukee, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers in the final game of this four-game series. The Dodgers looking to get a split from the Brewers. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser, and Nomar Garciaparra. The Jock Peterson Show continues. 2 more home runs last night. All 7 of his last hits have been for home runs. He's now tied with Adrian Gonzalez and Todd Frazier for the National League lead with 9. And it has been 8 days since he has had a hit that wasn't a home run.
He really has been channeling his inner Drago, where everything he hits, he destroys. And he definitely had 2 more yesterday. Not your prototypical leadoff hitter where the guy's just going to hit the ball on the ground the other way and try to beat it out. Well, there was nothing on the ground about this one yesterday where he drives to center field. And he didn't stop there. When he got another ball, he can extend those arms out, and he drives it once again, staying right up the middle. As we have a look at the breakdown of his hits that he's had this year, 14 of his hits have gone for extra bases. As we look, only 8 singles so far this year. And one thing that's only prototypical as a leadoff hitter he's done is he's had an on-base percentage of over 400.
423 to be precise, ranking 8th in the National League. Carlos Frias makes his 4th appearance and his 2nd start for the Dodgers. Of course, with Greinke and Kershaw and Anderson, the Dodgers' front 3 is pretty secure. Now they're looking for a 4th guy.
Yeah, they sure are. They need a spot starter to turn into a starter. We started out with the big 3 plus 2 at the beginning of the year. We're down to the big 2 and 1. So the 4th and 5th spots are open. But with Carlos Frias, he is the best candidate to really fill that role. A guy who throws upwards to 97, gets a lot of ground balls, and if he's going to go deep into games and solidify this spot in the rotation, the development of his off-speed stuff is going to be the key, Charlie.
So it's going to be a big day for the Dodgers. On to Denver next. But first, the Jock Peterson Show from Milwaukee coming up next. 9:50. Spring has sprung on this Thursday afternoon in Milwaukee. 67 degrees at game time. And today's closed captioning is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. They're fun since '61. After spring in Milwaukee, we're heading to rainy Denver, where there's actually a chance of snow in the forecast on Sunday. Whoop-de-doo. Don Mattingly in the Honda starting lineup. Jock Peterson, of course, his last 7 hits have been home runs. The last Dodger to do the same, he stopped Choi 10 years ago. Yasmani Grandal, he's been hot. Howie Kendrick hitting third. Adrian Gonzalez, nobody's ever hit any better at Miller Park than this fellow. Alex Guerrero's in left. Andre Ethier's in right. Uribe back at third base this afternoon. Kike Hernandez at short. Carlos Frias pitching and batting ninth against 29-year-old Mike Fiers, making his 6th start of the year.
Well, Mike Fiers has had some success against the Dodgers. He's 3-0 career with a 1.08 ERA. He's also coming off a solid start versus the Cubs, where he went 6 innings, only giving up 1 earned run and striking out 12. He's got a fastball, cutter, curveball change, and that changeup, when it's down in the zone, is a very solid swing and miss pitch.
Well, as you saw, he struck out 34 and has walked 9 so far this year, and opponents are hitting .314 against him as Jock Peterson steps in, and Peterson going to be up to it. .272, 9 home runs, 18 runs batted in, and away we go. There's a call strike. It's 0-1. So Peterson tied with Adrian Gonzalez and Todd Frazier with 9 home runs, hit 2 last night, 18 runs batted in. It's been 8 days in which he has a hit other than a home run. And a foul off to the left and out of play, and it's 0-2.
2 immediate observations. First of all, the roof semi-closed so that the shadow encompasses the pitcher and the hitter. Ryan Braun's idea for day games here, because usually that shadow is the pitcher in the sunlight and the hitter in the shade.
Fires quickly on 0-2, delivers high and inside 1-2.
The other observation, of course, as we watch the time lapse of the roof, and when we come back to live action, you'll see that they've got the shift on. And with Peralta throwing 96 to 97 yesterday, they weren't shifting against Gonzalez and Peterson, but today, back to the shift with the normal velocity on the mound.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Jock Peterson.
I'll tell you, I think that was a good idea. As a hitter, it definitely makes a difference with that shadow and then covering it up. And even the batter's eye is the same color as it's in the shadow as well, and that makes it easier for the hitter. And it's also, I know you don't like it as a pitcher, Oral, but at the same time, there's also a safety concern there.
For sure.
The 2-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. Peterson down on strikes, and we're underway. Defensively behind Fiers this afternoon, Ramirez and Segura on the left side, Scooter Gennett and Adam Lind on the right, Chris Davis, Gerardo Parra, Gold Glove winner, Ryan Braun in right, and Juan Centeno is the catcher. Now here's Yasmani Grandal, and boy, has he been hot lately. He's lifted his average to .261, a couple of home runs and 4 runs batted in. Switch hitter batting for the left side.
Normally a spot occupied by Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy getting the day off and putting Yasmani a catcher, but also a switch hitter in that 2-hole.
Kendrick on deck. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Grandal. Riding a modest 4-game hitting streak, but in those 4 games, 8 hits and 13 at-bats. That's a .615 clip with a home run, 3 doubles, and a couple of RBIs. Popped up behind the plate, and Centeno will run out of room. Centeno making his 2nd appearance with the Brewers. Martin Maldonado with the day off. And of course, Jonathan Lucroy remains on the disabled list with a broken toe. On 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Grandal with the night off last night. Immediately after the game, the Dodger traveling party, boards the charter and heads to Denver. 3-1 to Grandal. Lined into center field for a base hit. The last week to 10 days, Grandal looks like an entirely different hitter.
He's been staying on the ball so much better. He hasn't been pulling off. We also heard him talk about being more aggressive, and that has shown as well. I mean, he's in a hitter's count. There's a fastball over the plate. And what I mean not pulling off, that ball's in the outer half, and he just stays with it and drives it right back up the middle.
So Grandal with his 19th hit of the year. Not a threat to steal. Kendrick steps in. Howie at 275 with 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. He fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1. Kendrick now in his 10th big league season. He's been batting primarily 3rd or 4th all season. Here's the 0-1. Up high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Adrian Gonzalez is on deck. The Brewers beat the Dodgers 5 out of 6 last year. And they've won 2 of the first 3 games in this 4-game set here. Foul back and out of play. And it's 1-2.
You know, Nomar Fire's coming off an unbelievable game where he struck out 12 in 6 innings. Do the Dodgers study the fact of what were the big strikeout pitches for him in that outing?
They'll look at that. They'll look at even in that outing that he was actually mixing it up. He was going with the fastball. He got a lot of fastball swings and misses up in the zone. And I was telling you about that changeup earlier that he was going. He's been throwing his changeup more this year than he has, say, last year. And because of the movement, the downward movement you've been looking at from the changeup. But you want to make sure he still has the command. You want to just look your spot early on to see if he's going to force you to go after his pitches.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Howie Kendrick.
He seems to have made an adjustment with his off-speed stuff, not throwing as many fastballs this year, so they're going to have to be more prepared for a wider variety of pitches.
The 29-year-old Mike Fiers on 2-2. To third. Ramirez, Jeanette on the first, too late.
Wasn't a clean exchange from Ramirez. Couldn't get the ball out of his glove at third, and that's the reason Howie Kendrick makes it and doesn't get hit into the double play. Scooter didn't get the ball in time. Lynn didn't get it in time. Ramirez held on to it too long.
Now with 2 out, Adrian Gonzalez. In his career against the Brewers at Miller Park, .417 and an on-base percentage of .504. Fouls it off to the left. It is 0-1. Nobody with a minimum of 75 at-bats has better numbers at Miller Park than Adrian Gonzalez.
Yesterday, Charlie, you asked Nomar were there parks where he had difficulty seeing or other ones that he was hot in. When Nomar hit .370, I think he liked every park.
No, there's still parks you don't like.
Really?
Yeah.
When you hit .370?
Yeah. There's, like I said, it's you always hear me talk about feel, and there's a comfort, and certain parts you just don't feel comfortable in, and others you do. So it still exists, no matter how good you may be swinging it that year.
And for you, this wasn't one.
This was one of the ones I did not feel comfortable with.
Well, look at under the picture of Adrian, .376. Nomar had that under his name at .370 at the end of the year. We look at those numbers and we think they're huge because it's the beginning of the year and everybody will come down because of gravity. Well, baseball gravity didn't affect Nomar that year.
And so far it hasn't affected Gonzalez either. Gonzalez in the top 5 of every important offensive category. Average hits, home runs, RBIs, runs scored, on base percentage, doubles.
0-2. That's well hit, but slicing foul.
And right now, as you look out, the sun is covered with some clouds, and you just see one even color. Now it's coming back just a little bit. As a player, you were going, gosh, I really like that cloud coverage. You just liked it how it was all even out there.
Plenty of it coming in Colorado.
Nothing but cloud cover. On 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The outfield plays Gonzalez the other way, and the infield, you got the shift on the right side. For Gonzalez with 11 doubles, 3rd in the league. And along with Peterson and Todd Frazier, 9 home runs, leads the National League. Down on strikes. And that'll end the inning. Fires, strikes out 2. No runs and a hit. Carlos Frias about ready to make his 4th appearance and 2nd start. He'll be facing Segura, Jeanette, and Braun in the bottom of the 1st. Starting lineup he's put together for his Brewers. By the way, for Milwaukee, their 29th game and the 28th different starting lineup. With Segura and Jeanette and Braun top 3. Lynn, their hottest hitter, in the cleanup spot. Ramirez at 3rd. Parra in center. Chris Davis in left. Juan Centeno is the catcher. Mike Fiers pitching and batting 9th. And Carlos Frias on the hill. Frias' first pitch to Segura. He's low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Carlos Frias will feature his 95 to 97 mile-an-hour fastball. Throws the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. The off-speed pitch is generally the slider.
Fastball strike at the knees.
When batters swing off of Carlos, whether it's a ball or a strike, 92% of the time they make contact. And he's got a chance to have a low pitch count or have a rough day.
2 balls and 1 strike to Segura. Jeanette on deck and Ryan Braun to follow. The Brewers have the Cubs coming to town after the Dodgers vacate. 2-2.
We saw Willie Peralta yesterday start for Milwaukee and really pound with the fastball, and that Carlos Frias is going to be that type of pitcher until his secondary stuff starts to develop.
Peralta, 3 runs and 7 hits last night. Look at him.
Milwaukee hitters are going to know that something hard is going to be coming from Carlos. He's going to throw probably the bottom of his velocity range is going to be 87 and the top's going to be 97. He doesn't really have a changeup or a curveball yet that can take him down to 77. If he ever develops something down in that level, he's going to be really hard to hit.
The 2-2. Gonzalez will take it himself. Defensively behind Frias this afternoon, Jimmy Rollins has the afternoon off, so Kike Hernandez will be at short. Guerrero is in left, Peterson in center, Ethier in right, Yasmani Grandal back behind the plate for the 25-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican Republic, Carlos Frias. You're looking at Kike Hernandez. Rollins in a bit of a slump, but it's a day game after a night game, an ideal day for Rollins to have the afternoon off. Now Scooter Gennett, who hit a first inning 2-run shot last night. That would be the beginning of the end for Joe Wheeland, who, by the way, was set out today. And Chris Heisey has been added to the roster. So now the Dodgers have 5 bench players. They've been carrying 4 for the past few days. And there's a fly ball to left field. Guerrero's there. That's the second out of the first.
Nomar, on defense with the sun in left field and a little bit of shortstop and third base, is it tough on the defenders visually over there?
It can be, yes. Just as you're watching the ball come to you, especially on the infield, and it just kind of changes that color. It can just give you maybe a little bit of hesitation or mess with your depth perception just a little bit.
So with 2 out, here's Ryan Braun. There's the Dodger infield. Braun at 226, 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in, 1 for 3, a walk and a run scored last night, and takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Braun in his career a 311 hitter, but this year it's just a 226, 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in, and a quiet 280 on base percentage. Last night, when the Brewers scored 5 runs in the first, coming into last night's game, they had scored 5 runs in the first inning all year. 27 games, 5 runs. 1 inning last night, 5 more. So the Dodgers were playing behind the 8 ball from the first inning on. Craig Counsell, who signed a 3-year contract just the other day. Braun grounds it foul past Ed Cedar. So the Brewers are trying to figure out, is this a team they can win with going forward, or is it time to retool or rebuild? And at this point, the jury appears to be out.
Yeah, and they have some time because not a lot of major trades or people are going to pay a very high price for the people they might want to trade until we get into the pennant race, when all of a sudden there's competition for some players on their team and they get a true value of what might be possible. So I think they'll give Craig Counsell with this roster, you know, until All-Star break to really determine what the front office is going to do.
Braun works out a 2-out walk. The other problem that the Brewers have, they are as far out of first place as any team in the majors. They trail the Cardinals by 11.5.
Well, we've heard Andrew Friedman talk about with the Dodgers holes in the rotation that they're going to fill those holes from within, and we've been seeing that revolving door from Oklahoma City. But also Andrew talked about, you know, there's not a lot of action out there on the trade market right now, and especially for frontline pitching. But that'll change in a couple months.
Adam Lind, the Brewers' leading hitter, takes under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes, and there's certainly no sense of urgency around the Dodgers at 17-10 and a 3-game lead over the Padres. And as you mentioned in the open, the Dodgers are really hoping that Frias can inject himself into the rotation. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
We've had, you know, 5 reserve starters, Carlos being one of them, but now here on his second start, and a guy who's really classified as a swingman in the bullpen, then now a spot starter, and they're hoping they can remove the spot from the spot starter phrase. And right now, it's really by necessity. I don't see any way that he's not going to get a next start. He's not going to get one after that. He's not going to get one after that. I think the only time you'll see Frias, unless he pitches his way out of the job, or all of a sudden he's just kind of average and the Dodgers make a few moves in the rotation later on. But right now, the way Ryu's health and rehab has gone, it's going to be an awful long time for him to be back. And of course, we know Brandon McCarthy.
Runner goes on 1 and 2. The double clutch. Braun steals second, and that's his second stolen base of the year.
I think he had this anyway. Braun got a tremendous jump. You see Grandal having trouble getting that ball out of his glove, but despite that, just the jump from Braun really stealing that off of Frias than Grandal.
And now with 2 and 2, the Brewers have a runner in scoring position.
You know, a lot of times as a setup guy or a swing guy in the bullpen, the stolen base is not a big part of the game, because you know the score a lot of times for the younger guys that come in, it's 4-1, 5-1 we're ahead, 4-1, 5-1 we're down, and so people aren't running. But when you're a starting pitcher, there's runners on throughout the game, and you've got to keep the running game in check.
3 and 2.
Kind of like Charlie has told us, because we weren't here, Nomar, about Clayton Kershaw and how he had to develop his pickoff move.
He never had to worry about base runners. Whether he was in high school, the traveling teams. Then finally, lo and behold, he arrived at the major league level, and that was an area he had to work on. And the stolen base by Braun, the 2-out single for Lind, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead.
Well, we've seen the Brewers take to the Dodgers really with 2 outs. They've come up big and had a lot of runs scored with 2 outs on the board. And Braun's able to score there easily after that stolen base.
It began with that 2-out walk.
Yesterday we gave up a RBI, the 5th RBI in the first inning, after we couldn't turn the double play, just out of the reach ground ball of Howie Kendrick also.
Yep, and they got their 6th run after getting the first 2 guys out as well later in that game.
Lind with 16 RBIs. Ramirez takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
And that's one of those situations you go, well, it's just a ground ball, you know, and Carlos is throwing the ball. Well, he is, but if he had an off-speed pitch and he really could go with it, then you'd be out in front a lot more, and that would be like a 5-hop ground ball instead of a 2-3-hopper through the infield. It's something that he will need to develop, and I'm sure Rick Honeycutt is on that already with the necessity of another starter on this club.
The rotation is set for Colorado, even if the weather is not. Brett Anderson tomorrow night, Kershaw Saturday, Greinke Sunday. Ramirez down on strikes, but the 2-out walk, a stolen base, and a single to center for Adam Lind has given the Brewers an early 1-0 lead. but in the first inning, Bulldog, Mike Fiers did.
Yeah, Mike Fiers, you have to throw pitches that look like strikes, end up balls. In the 0-2 count, he throws his changeup, and you see immediately out of his hand, big league hitter like Adrian recognizes that's a ball. But now he gets it to look like a strike, end up a ball, and that's what it takes to get a great hitter like Adrian out.
Now Alex Guerrero steps in, starting in left field this afternoon. Takes high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Guerrero, Ethier, and Uribe to bat. Alex, of course, the National League Rookie of the Month in April. And drills one to left. And with one swing of the bat, the Dodgers have tied the score in a long-distance shot for Alex Guerrero, his 6th of the year. And for the Dodgers, their 45th. It's 1-1.
They're not a home run hitting team.
I think we can put that one to bed.
It's kind of hard to keep saying that every time we see guys come up to plate like Alex Guerrero and just getting a fastball and staying on. I mean, he knew it right off the bat. I mean, he got all of that. I mean, what a tremendous swing, staying back, so well balanced. He just looks so confident when he steps into the box.
Well, he's got 6 home runs, 14 runs batted in 37 at bats. So the Dodgers lead the majors with 45 home runs. Milwaukee leads the majors in having given up 40. So you'd think this be a match made in heaven for the Dodgers this afternoon. As Ethier fouls it back, it's 1-1. Juan Uribe on deck.
You know, Nomar, we talk so much about how the Dodgers are grinding it out, professional at bats. Well, the one thing is that they're also centered and balanced.
And that's what, when we hear grinding, they always think it's just taking pitches. But it's not. It's being able to drive strikes. It's making the other pitcher go, if I make a mistake, they'll capitalize on it.
You watch Adrian Gonzalez not lose his balance. Ethier right there on the check swing doesn't lose his balance. Guerrero is not just diving at the ball to hit that home run. He's solid and strong over his legs.
Right into the glove of Jeanette. Well, for a team that doesn't hit home runs, Adrian Gonzalez hit a 447-foot shot on Tuesday night, and Alex Guerrero just hit one 436 feet.
And home runs per at bat, he's got to be leading the world.
Yeah.
6 home runs in 37 at bats.
Yeah,
that'd be about right.
He's on pace for 100 home runs if he got a full season of at bat.
And now here's Uribe, who pinch hit last night, grounded out, and saw his 13-game hitting streak come to an end. But the third base position for the Dodgers has been off the charts as well, between Uribe, Turner, Guerrero, and even a game with Darwin Barney. The Dodger third basemen as a group are hitting .355 with 7 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a .383 on base percentage. The three amigos.
Well, they're all fortunate that they're all doing well, but Uribe and Turner are really fortunate they're doing well, because Guerrero would have their job. I mean, the only thing keeping Guerrero out of the lineup is that the other two are swinging the bat well also.
And so Guerrero starting in left field today, giving Van Slyke the day off. Van Slyke is hitting a meager .302. So the Dodgers offense is continuing to carry the day. As Uribe's down on strikes for Fiers, his third strikeout.
I talk about those guys doing well, but it's also good for the Dodgers when they're coming on this stretch where they don't have many days off. They're playing. They're right now in the middle of a 17-game straight.
Would we say 3 off days in May?
Yes, and only 1 in June.
2 in May, 1 in June.
2 in May, 1 in June. Wow.
Now with 2 out, Kike Hernandez takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Don't fall asleep on Kike's power either. This guy packs a punch.
He's 2 for 10 since being called up. Starting at shortstop today. Rollins with the afternoon off.
Guy takes a breaking ball like that.
Yeah, what do you think?
He's looking in.
Yeah, I was going to say, what
if
do you
he's
think?
looking away, he's biting at that. He's looking in.
2-1.
He's thinking, I saw Guerrero go deep. I can hit that ball like that.
That's what he wants to
I've
hit.
got
it
more
in the
power than him.
Same spot is where he's thinking.
Yeah, he's looking inner half.
Frias on deck with 2-1. Hernandez takes high and inside. 3 balls and a strike.
Interesting, they went changeup to a righty and set up inside right there. Looking for him to pull it foul, I guess.
Pops it up, right side. It is Lind, a step in foul territory, making the catch, and that will end the inning. Alexander Guerrero starting in left field today with a long distance wallop. For Guerrero, his 6th home run of the year, and he's tied the score at 1. More than a hint of spring. It's a beautiful 67 degrees. Roof is wide open. Carlos Frias to face Gerardo Parra, Chris Davis, and Juan Centeno in the bottom half of the 2nd. So Alex Guerrero with a home run, his 6th of the year. Long distance shot, 436 feet. Parra at 258. Carlos Gomez the day off. Parra takes outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. A ball and a strike to Parra. Gold Glove winner, former Arizona Diamondback. Hasn't hit much this year. 4 RBIs, 258, and then only 1 walk. But he's a Gold Glover out there in the outfield, starting in center today. One ball and 1 strike. Grounded to short. Kike Hernandez will get Parra by a step. Well, Yasiel Puig is on his way back. He's in the process of rehabbing the hamstring, but the Dodgers so far have done reasonably well without him. How is he doing along?
Well, Andre Ethier has certainly stepped in nicely in right field. Pretty much Andre Ethier has played in every single game. Yasiel Puig is set to be the DH today with high A Rancho Cucamonga. He will also play, if everything goes well, tomorrow and the following day as well in the outfield. So they're expecting him to be able to do that. We'll see how it goes this weekend, and he should be back with the big club club soon, guys.
Chris Davis takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Davis a home run and 5 runs batted in.
Alana saying he should be back with the big club soon. It's almost like thanks for the warning. So kind of a calm around the club without Yasiel's energy.
But as Alana said, Ethier has just been terrific filling in. Guerrero with now Crawford on the DL. Not sure when Crawford will be back with that oblique. So the Dodger depth has certainly kept the club afloat. One around.
Yeah.
Took a while to get there.
Yeah, I was like, that looked pretty close. And I wonder if Yasmani with that, despite whether he went around or not, it was a good pitch, too, that he thought he was going to get the call. But yeah, I think Yasmani was first and foremost worried about the call itself, was keeping it in there.
Andy Fletcher is the home plate umpire in his 15th big league season. He's 46 and from Memphis. But his boss, the crew chief, Jerry Meals at first base, said that Davis went around, and it's 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom of the second. One around.
Oh, wow. I don't think the bat left his shoulder on that one, did it?
Yeah, that's what frustrates you as a hitter is, okay, the one before you're a little frustrated, but they did ask. And then this one, yeah, the home plate umpire calling it. You're like, well, just let the first base umpire call it for you.
I'll take it.
2 out, nobody on, and Juan Centeno giving Martin Maldonado the day off, and Frias delivers a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Frias quickly ahead, 0-2 with a slider. One ball and 2 strikes.
You see the tremendous movement on Carlos Frias' fastball. He actually has more movement on his 2-seam fastball than he does on his slider. And I know they're in opposite directions, the movement, but as far as the depth and the width, fastball's got a lot of spin on it.
Here's the 1-2. Centeno down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Frias, nothing across for the Brewers. Frias will lead off for the Dodgers in the third, then he'll be followed by Jock Peterson, Yasmani Grandal. We are tied at 1 after 2. With an EPA estimated 30 highway MPG, this car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com today. On this lovely Thursday afternoon getaway day for the Dodgers. Next stop, Denver. Bad weather all weekend long there. 80 to 90% chance of rain. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and there's a shot of some snow on Sunday. So they're going to enjoy this spring weather at least for another couple of hours. Carlos Frias, his next big league hit will be his first. Leading it off here in the third. No balls and a strike. Frias about 6'5" and barely 200 pounds. One ball, one strike. Davis straight away and left, and then Parr and center, Braun and right are shallow. You get the sense that Frias would rather be almost any place else than where he is at the moment.
We're going to have to teach him the strategy of hitting in the 1-1 count.
Or the 1-2.
At least he didn't get cheated.
Yeah, at least he cut it loose there. But in a 1-1 count, you don't go with the fake bunt to put yourself down 2 strikes.
He knew he wasn't swinging then.
Well, here's Jock Peterson. Struck out in his first at bat. Tied with Adrian Gonzalez and Cincinnati's Todd Frazier for the league lead. 9 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He's also 8th in the league in on base percentage. 1st in walks, 4th in strikeouts. He does a lot of stuff up there.
I'll bet you service on the plane, Nomar. He walks, strikes out, or hits a home run. You can have everything else.
That's like a Stratomatic card.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, you give me a coffee or I'll get you a coffee on the plane.
Two 2-0 to Peterson with Grandal on deck. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes.
And you know what? We talked about this before the game. I think the extremes of what I just described, the walks and the home runs, is a little bit attributed to Jock and a little bit attributed to the pitchers.
Right.
They want to make him chase. They don't want to throw it in the strike zone to him.
Instead, he takes a 4-pitch walk. Now, who's serving who?
I got to get him coffee.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
I wonder if they have any red wine on the plane.
Now here's Yasmani Grandal on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. This is the first time all season that the roof here at Miller Park is open. And it is indeed a lovely day. It took a while. Grandal continues his hot hitting with a single to center in his first at bat. 1 out in the 3rd inning. So Grandal has lifted his average to 271.
Yeah, Yasmani comes up in the 2-hole and all of a sudden he's a fleet-footed bunter.
Yeah, thinking about bunting, thinking about moving the guy over, trying to figure something out, putting some pressure on the defense.
He's swinging the bat so well he doesn't even think about bunting right now.
Sometimes as a hitter you do that, especially in the first pitch, just to show, just to try to make the defense think about something, maybe take a step in and open up a hole for you.
1 ball, no strikes. Peterson has good speed. And it's now 2-0.
6 balls in a row now. A little conversation about getting the ball in the strike zone.
A lot of people will say, okay, well, you have to take here. And when the guy's swinging as well as Grandal, it's not a matter of taking, it's a matter of looking just one spot. And if he throws it there, then you let it fly. If it's not there, that's when you take it.
Last Friday, Yasmani Grandal was hitting 179. What a difference a week makes, up about 100 points in his average. 271 at the moment.
How far out of a pitcher's hand, Nomar? And I know it's hard to describe. Do you know it's a strike or a ball or in your spot?
You know what? It's funny. It depends on how well you're seeing the ball, because there are times where it's right out of the hand. You're already making your decision because you don't feel confident in the plate. And when you do feel confident, it's, gosh, maybe less than a foot out of his hand.
Back-to-back walks given up by Fiers. So the Dodgers are in business with Kendrick and Gonzalez coming up. Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, coming out to settle down his right-hander.
And I was just talking about Grandal. Well, here's another. You got Howie Kendrick, who's an RBI guy. Howie Kendrick's also been struggling. You just saw 8 straight pitches where the guy has thrown a ball. So you're thinking, all right, well, you're first of all, the RBI guy in you is saying, I have a guy in scoring position. I want to drive that guy in. But then you're also, when the game is telling me this guy's struggling, do I take a pitch? And I'm also struggling, and knowing that I have a guy like Adrian Gonzalez, who we just saw on deck behind you.
Howie this year with runners in scoring position, 9 for 20. That's .450. Bounced out in his first at bat. 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. 2 on, 1 out in the third. Into right field. Braun can't get it. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Dodgers go station to station and now have the bases loaded. 1 man out. And their hottest hitter coming up. Night before last, Adrian Gonzalez cracked his 9th home run of the season. A shot that traveled 477 feet.
All the home runs hit here in Miller Park this year will be compared to that one.
They should.
4 career grand slams. Gonzalez, the second leading hitter in the league. National League's leader in home runs. Swings and misses, nothing in 1. He's tied with Peterson and Todd Frazier.
See, Adrian saw that breaking ball out of his hand, and he saw the way it kind of went up first. So you're thinking, oh, he hung one. That just had a bigger break than he was hoping. If it didn't have that big break, he crushes that ball.
Gonzalez 1 for 5 in his brief meetings with Fiers, including having been struck out in his first at bat. Dodgers with a chance to break it open early. A little bloop job into short center field. It drops in for a base hit. In to score is Peterson, and Grandal is coming home, and that throw astray. Gonzalez will go to second. Kendrick is at third, and the Dodgers take a 3-1 lead. Gonzalez with 2 more RBIs.
Well, he gets jammed on this ball. Sounds like he breaks his bat on it, yet he's still strong enough to get it out to the outfield. I'll tell you, excellent job by Grandal from second base reading this ball. He takes just a couple of steps to make sure it's going to fall, and then he just, before it even hit the ground, he was turning and running hard to score on that ball.
So Gonzalez continues his hot hitting, and Guerrero, a home run in his first at bat, second and third, infield halfway, and there's a fly ball into short right field. Braun will make the catch, tagging and going, but halfway, and wisely so, is Howie Kendrick.
It's a good read by Howie Kendrick. He was thinking about, he was taking off, and he was reading the ball as he was running. If it was, he was trying to look at the angle to see if it was offline or if it was a good throw. Watch how he's looking. He's running hard, and then he notices, like, all right, that was a really good throw to home plate. I'm going to stay here. I'm still in scoring position.
Is there a signal from that from the third base coach? Lorenzo saying something like read it, read it?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. Read, or if he wanted you to tag, he's telling, okay, tag, you got to go, you got to go. He's letting you know.
Now it's up to Ethier, but he'll be intentionally walked to face Juan Uribe. This is the third walk of the inning by Fiers.
I hope for Juan Uribe, this is one of those where you, as a hitter, you get fired up. They're thinking that you're an easy out. That for him, he's been successful going on the right field, staying inside the ball, that you don't want to get too big.
Last year, this didn't happen very often because he was one of our key RBI guys. He would be somebody that was protecting Hamley, protecting Matt Kemp. protecting Adrian Gonzalez. But now in that little bit of a slump, the league has recognized that, and they're going to attack him.
Uribe steps into the batter's box at 270. 1 home run, 5 runs batted in, and 3 for 16, a 188 clip with runners in scoring position. He's got Kendrick at third, Gonzalez at second, and Ethier at first. 2 in here in the third. Strike, and it's 0-1. Uribe pinch hit last night, made it out, and that ended his 13-game hitting streak. Uribe with a chance to turn a good inning into a big inning.
Well, the scouts have recognized on the Milwaukee side that Juan is struggling with the off-speed stuff, getting out in front, not controlling his body. First 2 pitches off speed, and the last at bat when they got him out.
Outfield is straight away for Uribe. And it's 1-2.
We were talking about balance when it came to a lot of these Dodger hitters. Well, that was a demonstration of unbalance there. You can see like it. Oh, he was so indecisive there. He was looking at the ball, and then he saw it was coming in. He was trying to make an adjustment, just didn't see the ball well out of his hand.
1-2 with the bases loaded. 2-2.
And a lot of the hitters with really good balance in the Dodger lineup, you could almost put an egg under their front foot as they're landing because their weight is still back and centered. With Juan, it has a tendency that front foot is really landing hard.
And that caused the whole rest of his body, the center of his body, to drift forward.
Now the 2-2.
And you had asked me, Oral, about seeing the ball, recognizing whether it's a ball or strike out of the pitcher's hand. Well, oftentimes that drift that we're talking about from Juan Uribe going forward has a tendency where you don't believe you're quick enough, or you're going to be beat by the pitcher, so you're already starting to try to catch up to him.
Uribe in his 15th big league season, his 5th already with the Dodgers. Down on strikes. Dodgers come up with a couple of runs, couple of hits, an error. 3 men left after 2.5. The Dodgers and Carlos Frias have a 3-1 lead. Padres get your very own Adrian Gonzalez bobblehead with a touch of gold. Presented by Time Warner Cable. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. Mike Fiers to lead it off. Been to bat 7 times this year, looking for his first hit. He's been struck out 4 times, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Segura on deck and Scooter Gennett to follow. And now Carlos Frias has a 2-run lead to work with.
And here's that shutdown inning for Carlos, and really an inning when you are battling your way into the rotation, a spot starter, that you can really set the tone for the game.
To second base. Kendrick has an easy play. Fires retired, 1 out and nobody on. 5 in a row retired by Carlos Frias. On this day, 1959, one of the most iconic moments in Los Angeles sports history. Campy being wheeled out by the captain, Pee Wee Reese. Joined there by the Glendale banker, Casey Stengel. Gene Segura is the hitter with 1 out in the 3rd.
Every year in Vero Beach, Campy would be there. And with the dining room, of course, where he was in there eating, and then you have the strings area where the pitchers threw their side works. And Campy would come out and watch side works and then give advice after that, and then, of course, then the game. And everywhere, even though he was in the chair, you knew where Campy was because of his personality and his wisdom, not because he was in a chair.
And an indomitable spirit.
Unbelievable man. And you'd throw your side work and you'd walk back and you'd kneel down next to him, and he would give you tremendous amount of wisdom. And then you get up from your knee there and you walk over 10 more feet, and there's Sandy to give you advice. And then you go sit on Tommy Lasorda's golf cart, and you know, maybe Johnny Padres is there, and Larry Sherry and Ron Paranowski. And it's just the amount of wisdom I remember growing up a baby Dodger and going to the strings area and throwing my side works. I never wanted to leave the area after my 35-40 pitches.
Yeah, why would you?
There's just so much wisdom in that area. And it was built right off the patio of the dining room, so they would even eat lunch there and just watch us all throw.
Gonzalez giving it a chase. Those 8th year, neither can reach. It was a sad time in New York at the end of the 57 season because the Dodgers were leaving Brooklyn for Los Angeles. And then about 3 months later, the tragic accident. Roy Campanella in Glen Cove, Long Island, up on the North Shore. So it was a sad time, the Dodgers having left, and then one of the real legends of New York and Brooklyn baseball having such a tragic accident. And yet that indomitable spirit that you were talking about, the wisdom. Segura stays alive for another pitch, 2-2. It was a very, very sad, tragic story in January of 59 or 58.
I never knew him outside the chair, but I never really saw the chair. I saw the man. And how hungry he was to teach us the game.
Robinson, Campanella, Newcomb, 47, 48, 49.
It's one of the great gifts that the O'Malley family would give all the Dodgers, is to invite back all the old Dodgers and have them around.
That's the 4th strikeout for Frias.
There's that good breaking ball that you were talking about with Frias, and you and I were talking about with that breaking ball, with the movement of his fastball and then his slider. It's like you can almost just set up, just throw it down the middle, because those are just breaking, have just good enough break off the plate to get them to swing and miss.
Scooter Gennett fly to left in his first at bat.
The hitters are working so hard to pick the ball up out of his hand because he throws so hard that when it's slightly offline, they don't want to swing. They know it's going to be hard to handle. It's a big, heavy baseball that he's throwing. And if they don't square it up, it's going to hurt.
Well, Gennett with a 2-out single to right. Fresh off the disabled list, his struggling Brewers team certainly has missed their little second baseman. First base coach Mike Guerrero, his first year as a big league coach.
You talked about that shutdown inning. Right now, Carlos Frias really has to battle within himself to say, okay, I know I got the first 2 guys out, but I can't give in right now. And especially with the two big hitters coming up in Ryan Braun and Lynn.
Braun worked a 2-out walk in his first at-bat, stole second, and would come around to score on Adam Lynn's base hit. Dodgers 3-1. Guerrero's hit a home run for the Dodgers already. Braun to right and foul.
It's not a development league because this is the big leagues, but Yasmani Grandal in the last at bat with Scooter up there throwing the changeup and giving up the hit. It was a great time. 2 out, nobody on. I've got to bring along this kid's off-speed stuff. I've got to get him used to throwing it. So you throw it in a non-pressure situation, but all of a sudden, because you give up the hit and you're trying to develop him and bring him along with the off-speed stuff, you got Ryan Braun up there who represents the tying run.
And Jeanette is a very fast runner. One ball, one strike to Ryan Braun. Braun 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in. And hitting for .226. Almost 90 points less than his career average. Weekly to short, Kike Hernandez to Howie Kendrick, and that's that. Don't go away because in the top half of the 4th, batting third, Mr. Home Run, Jock Peterson coming up. Has the day off, but Alana Rizzo's busy at work.
Well, guys, Jimmy Rollins getting the day off. He knew he was going to get the day off, a day game after a night game. He's hitting just 162 right now, 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. And I asked him earlier yesterday what he does to get himself through an offensive slump. He said it's really just a mental thing. There are so many things you can do mechanically. You'll keep digging a hole if you keep trying to tweak those things. He said almost like you're digging in quicksand. He said you just have to keep your mind on the bigger goal. You have to find a way to help the team. And he said, I always know that somebody is watching me. I try to be the same guy day in and day out, and it's not based on my results.
So Jimmy Rollins, day game after night game, plus the slump, equals Kike Hernandez in the batter's box, and it's 0-2. He fouled the first in his first at bat. Beginning the 4th, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. Hernandez down on strikes for Fires. That's his 6th strikeout.
And I'm just thinking of what Alana was talking about with Jimmy Rollins, and it says a lot when he says that everybody, somebody's always watching me. And we saw early on in spring training how Howie Kendrick and Jimmy Rollins, the respect they got when they came into this new Dodger clubhouse, and a lot of it has to do because everybody was watching them. Here's your bunt. See, well, he got the memo. He knew now that was the time. So he wants to, show off the wheels that he has. I'll tell you, Carlos Frias, even on the mound, I say he's got some high energy. I mean, there's some when he's, when he makes that big pitch and he's coming off, he's smacking his glove, he's getting excited even early in the game. I like it.
That's going to roll foul. Boy, he can run too.
With that kind of speed and a righty on the mound, I'd like to see him bunt towards third. It almost makes the perfect bunt, though. That hangs on the line.
In days of yore, in other words, long time ago.
Thank you for the interpretation.
When you would have a slow runner on late in the game, managers were not the least bit hesitant to have a starting pitcher who wasn't working that day to pinch run. That doesn't happen much anymore. But this is a guy.
Yeah, he
who
looks
certainly
like the
could do
guy.
it. Yeah.
Not a pinch hitter, though.
7 strikeouts for Fiers, 2 out and nobody on.
We'll stick with the running.
And here's Jock Peterson. Well, let's see. He has struck out today. He has walked today. I guess he's due to hit a home run today.
No more. I'm going to give you double or nothing on service.
Sure, why not?
I'll take the home run, and you can have everything else.
Okay.
Are we on?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay.
And actually, I hope I have to serve you twice because that's I'm really hoping. Yeah, I do.
And don't forget the cashews. Peterson takes a strike, 0-1. Jock at 268. Now 9 home runs and 18 runs batted in. And it's 0-2. Brewers catcher Juan Centeno. Centeno came up with the Mets originally. Wants the ball down. Fiers strikes out the side. He now has 8 strikeouts through 4. And after 3.5, the Dodgers lead 3-1. For strikes, he has struck out 4, has walked 1, and has given up a run and 2 base hits. Well, what's your assessment, Oral, of Frias through his first third?
Well, I love the fastball. It's electric. And I love the slider also. I think he's going to learn to position a little better, but I still am really a big fan of him learning something that is below 80 miles an hour. And if he does that, he's got a huge upside.
Adam Lind steps in. He drove in the Brewers' only run of the game. That was in the first after a 2-out walk to Braun, who stole a base, and then Lind with the base hit. Lind at 330 takes a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramirez on deck and Parra to follow. Two and one.
The first sign of an above average big league pitch is when you can tell them it's coming and it's still hard to hit. And that's what Carlos Frias has with a fastball. It's kind of like Willie Peralta yesterday's fastball. You know, it's so firm and got such life in the strike zone that even the big league hitters have a tough time squaring it up when they know it's coming.
Now on 2-2 after the slider. Let's see what Fiers does.
Well, you were talking about early in the game, it was what, 92% of the time when they swing,
they swing, whether it's a ball or a strike,
they make contact.
They make contact, like that foul ball right there.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that they're squaring it up.
No.
It just means they're making contact. So.
65% of the balls put in play off of him are ground balls. He's up that from around 50% last year.
Lind with a fly ball to right. Ethier going back. He's at the wall, and all he can do is look up, and it's gone. Adam Lind with his 6th home run of the year. He's knocked in both Brewer runs this afternoon. The Dodger lead has been trimmed to 3-2.
That home run's really a perfect example of why he's going to need an off-speed pitch. He gets him out in front with a really nice slider. Really a great slider, but it's not enough off-speed consistently from the curveball or the fastball because there's still enough bat and swing to hit that because it's all in that tight range.
And Ramirez with a shot to right. Ethier going back, and it is off the wall. Now Ramirez on his way to second base with a double. Ramirez narrowly missing going back to back.
This is that second time around in the order, Nomar, when hitters have seen him and they know everything is pretty hard. So second time around the order now, they are 3 for 5 in the top 5 hitters. And this now the fastball. Ramirez thinks he gets it. Well, he only gets it to the warning track, but it's a double.
Well, there's two things going on that second time around. Is that they're knowing that pitches are going to be hard from a velocity standpoint, but they're also noticing the movement on how the ball is going to move that fastball. The tail, they're recognizing that. Is it more downward or is it more of a run? Also with the breaking ball, the slider, is that a really nice sweeping slider or is it just kind of almost cutter/slider action?
Parra bounced to short in his first at bat. And now Grandal's going to go out and have a chat with Frias, reminding him that the signals may be a little different, but with the runner at second base, also trying to calm him down a bit.
This is where in a young pitcher's mind too that you have to cross that bridge that less is more. So when you need to throw that big pitch slider, it's okay to take a little more off and make it break bigger.
Parra up the middle into center field for a base hit. Ramirez is on his way home and he will score. 3 hits in a row for the Brewers here in the bottom of the 4th, and they've tied the score at 3.
Yasmani does a nice job of throwing something off speed. He just kind of elevates it so it gives him a chance with the ball being up to stay on it and recognize it. Here you got to watch out for the stolen base. You're so much concentrating on, oh, I've given up a home run, I've given up a double, now I give up a base hit, and you forget about the base run over there, and there's no outs, and you got to keep that guy close.
And as a base runner, that's what you're thinking. Oh, we got him on the ropes. I can put more pressure on him.
Parra has not yet attempted a stolen base this year. Into left field for a base hit. 4 hits in a row for the Brewers. First and second, still nobody out as Chris Davis singles to left.
Five for 7, second time around the order. They have zoned him in.
Dodger bullpen beginning to shuffle around. Nobody has yet taken the warm-up coat off as Honeycutt goes out to talk with his battery. The Dodgers have had all sorts of problems with the Brewers over the past few years. They're 9-19 against Milwaukee dating back to 2011, losing 5 of 6 to the Brewers last year. Juan Centeno coming up, came out of the Met organization. This is his second game at the big league level with the Brewers, and he takes high and outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Tough guy to double up, and they're not bunting. Long way to go in this game. Both offenses look like they're seeing the ball well.
There's a strike.
This is where Carlos Frias has to think of himself as a reliever. Coming into somebody else's jam, I can be the hero. You got to forget about how rough the inning has been, and now you got to pitch like the swing man that you were coming out of the bullpen.
Centeno does not have a hit this season. And Mike fires a pitcher on deck. Neither does he. So he certainly has a chance to limit the damage here. Centeno at 5'9", about 190 pounds. And now Frias trying to collect himself. The 13th pitch of the inning is slashed foul off to the left. Lind opened the inning with a home run, his second in as many nights. Ramirez doubled, back-to-back singles for Parra and Davis.
He threw him a down and in breaking ball that he was late on. I think he can beat him with a fastball up. He's got 97 in his belt. I'd go up above the belt with that 97 and beat him with it.
Just outside. So Frias trying to get out of this jam. Instead, it's now 3-2.
The psychological barrier that creeps up when you're a pitcher and you know you really don't have that swing and miss pitch. So then you start to feel like you've got to hit a gnat's rear end as far as a target. And that then makes you squeeze the ball, not have good movement, and it backs you into a corner mentally.
3-2, nobody out. And that's the first big out for Frias here in the fourth. 5th strikeout.
Well, he needed a big pitch, 3-2 count, and he gets it. This one starts off as a strike, shows that it caught the bottom of the zone, but it was just an excellent pitch with good movement.
That's his fastball too.
Yeah.
You saw how much that moved. Bottom just drops out of it.
Well, you can't just because you have a pitcher up. I mean, Fires hit a ball hard to the second baseman his last at bat, so just assume.
There's a strike as Fires attempts to bunt. He has 1 sacrifice on the year. Uribe and Gonzalez crashing in from the corners. Good speed on the bases. Parr at second, Davis at first. Tied at 3 with 1 out, 2 in the bottom of the 4th. Mike Fiers, in search of his second win of the year. His name may sound familiar above and beyond the fact that he's a right-hander with the Brewers. It was he who hit Giancarlo Stanton in the face with that pitch September of last year. Good bunt up the third base line. They throw to second and on to first. Not in time. Almost a double play.
Good job by Uribe recognizing to get that runner out at second base. They almost turned a nice pick over there by Howie Kendrick on that ball in the dirt. As you have a look, you see Juan Uribe recognizing that, okay, I can get the way this is bunted, I can get the guy out at second. But a pick over there by Howie Kendrick. Nice play.
So it's first and third and 2 out. And Segura coming up. Juan Segura has bounced out, has been struck out. And for the Brewers in their 29th game this season, this is their 28th different starting lineup. Segura's at .276 with a home run and 11 runs batted in, and Scooter Gennett is on deck. Nothing in 2. After such a miserable start, the Brewers quietly have won 5 of their last 7. But they're still 10 under 500 and trailing the Cardinals by 11.5. And like the past several years, making the life of the Dodgers miserable. 1 and 2. Grandal, Kendrick, and Gonzalez will bat for the Dodgers in the 5th. But Frias still has a bit of work to do. And he's done it. 6 strikeouts for Frias, but the Brewers come up with a couple of runs. 4 hits, leave 1. We go to the 5th, tied at 3. Be one of the first 40,000 in attendance on Thursday, May 14th, back at Dodger Stadium when the Dodgers play host to the Colorado Rockies. Pick up your Sandy Koufax pin. It's number 3 in the Cy Young Pin Collector Series presented by 76. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. But Mike Fiers could not possibly do any better than he did in the 4th inning when he struck out the side, 9 pitches, 9 strikes. On the game, he has struck out 8. And that already is a season high. Grandal has got a hit, a walk, and a run scored today, and then Kendrick and Gonzalez to follow. The ball inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Fiers in search of his second win of the season. Two balls, no strikes to Yasmani Grandal, who has lifted his average to 271. He's raised his average nearly 100 points in the past week. Fiers, who threw 9 pitches, all strikes in the 4th inning, falls behind 3-0 to Grandal beginning the 5th. A 4-pitch walk to Grandal to begin the 5th inning. That's the 4th walk given up by Fiers.
That Fiers that last inning, who couldn't throw a ball. He's throwing 9, strikes out the side on just 9 pitches, and now he comes in and 4 balls in a row.
Penthouse or outhouse.
At this point, he'll be just happy to have a room with a view. Kendrick is 1 out of 2. At 279. Gonzalez on deck and Guerrero to follow.
You're in a slump. You take the pitches you should have swung at, and you swing the ones you should have took. That hanging breaking ball right there, Howie's got to be going to see that when he's laying on his pillow tonight.
Into right. At Braun.
Fiers did him a favor and threw him another one right there. Howie hit it good. He can't find the outfield grass in right field quite as often as he normally does.
Right. He's still, I mean, at least he's still hitting out there. But that's one where he goes, okay, I'm hitting it out there, but watch the trajectory of it. That's where he's just off just a little bit. It kind of tailing away the inside out rather than almost more of a line. When he was really on, when he was swinging well, it's straighter to right field. It's
back spinning the ball to right field
a little bit more rather than that side spin, because you're kind of slicing it more.
Gonzalez at 379, 1 for 2. Takes high and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
You talk so much about staying inside the ball as a hitter. How do you stay inside it, hit it to the opposite field, and not side spin it?
Well, you can. I mean, it's a lot of times it's the barrel, whether the barrel drops a little bit more as it's coming into the zone to keep the slice, as compared to the barrel being just a slightly more on top to drive it and keep some more backspin.
2-0 to Adrian Gonzalez.
Or it's a fine line for sure.
Definitely. But you know what? That was a great explanation, because I can think about it. If the barrel's up above the ball and coming into it, how it's going to backspin it compared to if it dips, like you said. So fans don't understand that you have to get your hands above the ball, because the barrel's always going to drop slightly.
2-0 to Gonzalez. There's 1 and 2. Adrian tried to go against the shift and bounces into the double play after 4.5. Dodgers and Brewers knotted at 3. bat for the Brewers in the bottom half of the 5th is Monty Grandal. Getting his equipment adjusted, and now he is going to take a warm-up pitch or two from Carlos Frias. A pitching matchup that has blown hot and cold. Fires and Frias. Jeanette is 1 for 2. 3 runs and 6 hits for Milwaukee, 3 runs and 4 hits for the Dodgers.
Frias has his work cut out for him this inning. I mean, Fires did a good job for the Brewers that last inning after they came back and tied the score up. Got a quick inning to get his team back into the dugout. So Frias now needs to do the same thing.
Tied at 3. We begin the bottom of the 5th. First base coach Mike Guerrero. Jeanette fresh off the disabled list. Injured a hand taking a shower at PNC Park. He's from Cincinnati originally. And a fly ball to left, sprinting over and in the sun is Guerrero. And he makes a very nice play, a step or two in fair territory. He had a long way to go.
That was a really nice play by Guerrero. Let's not forget, he hasn't had a lot of experience in the outfield. You're at a new stadium as well, and you're trying to measure, okay, how close am I getting to that wall? There's not much foul territory down the line, and Carlos Frias definitely appreciating the effort and the play out there by Guerrero.
Ryan Braun has walked and bounced out.
His biggest challenge, too, with the different lighting today, with the shadows where the hitter is, and then he's in the sun.
Braun takes a strike.
But he's adapted to the outfield culture of wearing the sunglasses on the hat.
Will somebody explain that to me? He's not the only one. They're all doing it. Why bother?
Well, what happens is you're going out there and you're not sure where the sun, if it moved and if it's going to be in your eyes. So you're going, okay, at least I have my shades on with me. And it's not oftentimes you don't run back in. Okay, I don't need them because it's not in my eyes, and you send them back.
That's it, huh?
That's what I'm going with.
It's a lot better than talking about ego and they just look good. It's right up there with the batting gloves with the fingers coming out of the pockets of the pants in the back. It just looks cool when you're stealing the base.
I had that.
Yeah, I know. Take them off, hand them to your first base coach.
Sometimes
you would put them in your hand so you wouldn't jam your fingers.
Exactly. Sometimes I would do that. Sometimes I wouldn't, but sometimes I'd do that.
Adam Lind, 2
sometimes
for 2.
it just looks cool.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It's not true. It's not why it was there.
Did you play with the flip down sunglasses?
I did play with the flip downs. Yeah.
It's a lot of old school, old soul, and it is it not better in the long term for a player to flip them down because of the contrast, and then bang, suddenly you've got, or no?
You know, for me, the reason I didn't wear sunglasses on even bright days, it messed with my depth perception on ground balls. So I would go with the flip downs. And then I heard at one time that flipping down the sunglasses and wall up, that you're I don't know if your eyes really have that enough time to adjust. So if they were really doing anything, or if it was really just for show, just to give you a reason, hey, at least I had my shades, and if you happen to miss that pop-up, I had them on. So I don't know. That's, I guess it does take off some of the glare. I think if you had your shades on the whole time, okay, it definitely reduces the glare out there.
Does eye black work?
I'd never used eye black or really felt like it did. So, and some guys say it does. So I guess it's more on the individual.
2-2 to Adam Lind with 2 out and nobody on. Bottom of the 5th. So Frias, after the shaky 4th, has settled back down. But Lind, who has singled and homered, has been the Brewers' best hitter all season. Last night he homered and doubled. Works the count full with Ramirez on deck. Comebacker, and that's going to do it. The underhanded flip, and that's that for the Brewers in the 5th. 5 in a row retired by Frias. We're knotted at 3 as we head to the 6th. .436-foot home run worthy of a Carl's Cam replay.
I mean, right now, anything you hit, anything that's thrown over the middle of the plate, he's taking full advantage of it, staying back on the ball, driving the ball out of the ballpark. Just right there, you're trying to remind yourself, just stay right there. Don't try to get too big, because things are working.
Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. So Guerrero, who has played at third and played at left, now has 6 home runs and 14 runs batted in. One ball and 1 strike. Those 5 home runs, now 6 home runs and 14 runs batted in, have come in 38 at-bats. Well, he's not the only young slugger for the Dodgers. How about Jock Peterson? Peterson's got the 9 home runs and tied with Gonzalez and Frazier for the league lead. But for Guerrero, 1 home run and roughly 1 every 6.5 at-bats. Two balls and 2 strikes. Ethier is on deck, and then Uribe. And Guerrero now works the count full. Mike Fiers to this point has walked 4 and struck out 8. And here comes his 87th pitch of the game. Guerrero works out the walk. 5th walk given up by Fiers. In the 5th inning, a leadoff walk to Grandal. The Dodgers couldn't do a thing with it. Now let's see what they can do here in the 6th. Andre Ethier, who last night played in his 100th game with the Dodgers.
Well, for Andre, the key is not to get frustrated right now because he's been swinging the bat well. He hasn't had the results the last couple of games that he may have liked, but his last at bat, he got intentional walk, but the bat before he lined out to the second baseman.
As much as Gonzalez loves coming to Milwaukee, Ethier not so much. In 29 games against the Brewers here at Miller Park, hitting just .228. Gonzalez is hitting .417. Drilled to right. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to roll to the corner. Guerrero is on his way to third. And now he's going to be sent home. And he is going to score. And by the time he does, Ethier slides into third base with a triple. And the Dodgers take a 4-3 lead.
Balance, staying centered, fooled slightly, but still have your hands back and can hit it. Nomar.
Well, I think that's the key. When we keep talking about that balance, well, it allows you, even if you are fooled or you're out in front, your timing may be off on a pitch, it still have enough power in your body enough to reach out those arms and square it up. And then you have Guerrero hustling all the way, recognizing that the ball is behind him down the line, picking up his third base coach and scoring easily.
He did a good job cutting those bases tight. No wide turns there.
And kept his eye on Lorenzo Bundy every step of the way. Brewers with bullpen activity. And Craig Counsell is going to go for the bullpen. And it's going to be Jeremy Jeffress will be coming in. So the Dodgers, with Ethier at third base, a run in here in the bottom of the sixth, nobody out, lead it 4-3. Now it's Guerrero. ERA of 2 2/3. Opponents hitting less than 200 against him. Dodgers saw him on Tuesday and he struck out the side. And for those of you who believe that the best things in life are free, Dodgers 5 walks, free passes, and 3 of those 5 walks turned into runs. And the Dodgers lead it 4-3. Uribe, glad Fires is out of there. He struck out twice against him. Brewers with the infield in. So Andre Ethier is at third base, and again, What a job he has done for the Dodgers this year in left field and filling in for Puig in right. Hitting near 300. And a chopper into center field for a base hit. Follow the bouncing ball. Ethier comes in to score, and the Dodgers take a 5-3 lead for Uribe, his 6th run batted into the season.
Well, when you have the infield in, you have a man on third base, less than 2 outs, you approach it. I need to stay up the middle of the field. And you're looking for a ball maybe up in the zone, something you can get to the outfield. But still, your approach and thought is center of the field. Juan Uribe, ground ball, finds the hole up the middle.
Kike Hernandez, he's 0 for 2 and 2 for 12 since his call up. Takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Now you can close the statistical book on Mike Fiers. 5 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Gave up a home run to Alex Guerrero. Chris Heisey will bat for Frias. So from this point on, it'll be the committee of the Dodger bullpen to try to finish it out. And the only bullpen statistically that's gone any better than the Dodgers this year, the Cardinals. Baez will be first. Well, Frias did what the Dodgers hoped he could do, put him in a chance to win, and he will leave the game on the winning side. Frias finishes the day with 84 pitches, 56 for strikes. Into right center field. That is well hit, and that is 1 hop off the wall. Uribe rounding third. He'll now be held up. Kike Hernandez takes the big turn. Wisely, Lorenzo Bundy holds Uribe at third. The Dodgers still have nobody out, and now runners at second and third.
He was. First of all, that's a great swing by Kike. We talked about staying inside the ball and driving it to right center, but Juan Uribe, he was hustling around, and Lorenzo was first waving him in, and then he has to hold him up. You see Uribe looking for it, and then he's like, uh-oh, he's waving me in, kicking the next gear. And Carlos Frias trying to encourage Uribe to get going.
Well, now with runners at second and third, Heisey is pulled back. Don Mattingly wants to go for the kill here, and so he brings in Justin Turner to pinch hit instead of Heisey. Turner at .327, 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Hit .340 last year, and has just been a terrific clutch hitter wherever he's been. 6 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Two in, still nobody out in the top of the 6th. Turner with a home run night before last. And the Dodgers pounded the Brewers 8-2. This was his 4th of the year. It sounded long. And it was. Uribe at third, Hernandez at second. Infield is halfway. Turner swings and misses, and it's 1-2. Jeffers, who retired the Dodgers in order in the 8th inning night before last, striking out the side. First two batters here, a single and a double. The third base. First out. Now here's the Stratomatic All-Star.
Well, this would be an interesting at bat for me to see the adjustment that Jock makes here, because we've been talking about him all or nothing here, but you got the infield in, you got a guy at third base, less than 2 outs,
and you got first base open.
Yeah, and
so
just
not necessarily going to get strikes.
Right. So just look for a pitch, up into something that you can possibly drive in the air. It's not about driving out of the ballpark, but it's going to drive in the air and at least get a run in.
Leads the league in home runs, walks, and fourth in the league in strikeouts. Nine home runs, 18 runs batted in. Hitting .265 and on base percentage of .421. .286 with runners in scoring position. Them's the numbers. Let's see how it plays out. 2-0.
I think he should get the unintentional intentional walk. I think they're going to throw pitches to him like the count is 0-2 no matter what the reality of the count is, and see if he'll chase. Other than that, they're going to let him stand at first base.
3-0. The hot hitting Yasmani Grandal is on deck.
I think they're going to make it intentional now.
So the bases are loaded for Grandal. So Peterson today, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Grandal, 1 career grand slam. Uribe, Hernandez, and Peterson. Grandal 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. 188. Takes a strike. Nothing in 1. Kendrick on deck and Gonzalez to follow. 2 in here in the 6th, and the Dodgers with a chance to blow it open. One ball, 1 strike.
And that pitch right on the edge changes the whole at bat. 1-1 is a lot better than 0-2, of course, especially with bases loaded. Yasmani can look for something near the middle of the plate right here.
Blocked nicely by Centino.
Good take by Yasmani, because that one started off as where you're looking. That one that you could
slightly up and down the middle
drive, and he recognized the breaking ball out of his hand and took it.
Grandal, 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Bases are loaded. To the right side and through into right field for a hit. Uribe scores. Here comes Hernandez. Throw to the plate will not be in time. A 2 RBI single for the hot hitting Yasmani Grandal. 4 in here in the 6th, and the Dodgers lead 7-3.
Well, we got the first pitch on Grandal. He throws a strike, but that was a pitcher's pitch on the inner half. Goes away from him that he takes, and here comes a breaking ball that he does a good job laying off of it. Then he gets a fastball again, and it was down in the zone, but he stays with it. He also recognized that was the pitch that was called on him in the first pitch, so didn't want to get 2 strikes, get behind in the count. Makes contact, and it finds a hole.
Kendrick 1 for 3. Takes a strike, and it's nothing in 1. The Dodgers on the season are averaging not quite 5 runs per game and nearly 9 hits. At the moment, 7 runs and 8 hits, 2 on, 1 out. And Kendrick takes high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. But there's been a wide disparity in runs scored at home and runs on the road. 5.5 at home, about 3.7 on the road. Ground ball up the middle. Jeanette to Segura. Segura on to first. Kendrick bounces into an inning-ending double play. But the Dodgers come up with 4 runs on 4 hits, leave 1 after 5.5. Frias and the Dodgers have a 7-3 lead. Get to Nissan's ride of your life for exciting performance and surprising offers. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. The Preakness just a couple of weeks away is Pedro Baez now on in relief for the Dodgers, who has been one of the great contributors to this great bullpen. Dodger bullpen collectively has a 1.91 ERA. Only the Cardinals have a better one statistically. In 85 innings, they have struck out 100 batters, walked only 30, at a 188 batting average against the group. Baez making his 13th appearance, and look at that strikeout to walk ratio. 16-2.
Power arms with a lot of velocity and late life coming out of the bullpen.
Aramis Ramirez. 1 for 2 and a run scored. Dodgers lead it 7-3. Baez will be facing Ramirez and Parra and Davis. Ramirez 3 home runs and 11 runs batted in. Takes high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. This is a guy who's had a great career that has just lived under the radar from the day he arrived.
He's always been a really powerful and professional hitter. But you're right, Charlie. He has not gotten the recognition, at least the national recognition, that his numbers warrant.
Top 5 all-time among third basemen in home runs and hits.
And he also plays a very solid third base as well on the defensive side. So it's not just all bat when it comes to Aramis Ramirez. And he's a very professional hitter. He, over his career, it wasn't just always, okay, I'm just looking to hit, home run every single time. He'll make the adjustments on what they're giving him, the pitcher's giving him. He'll go the other way.
He's doubled and scored a run, been struck out today. It takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike.
The other deceiving thing about Mr. Ramirez is he's been in the big leagues 18 years. You just don't think of him as that kind of having that kind of longevity.
368 career home runs, 2,172 base hits, and he swings and misses 3 and 2.
You wonder why he has so many home runs? Because if it swings like that, he doesn't get cheated. And one thing I know about Aramis is it's very difficult to try to double up like that because he'll swing and miss and then make an adjustment and rarely misses the next one.
He leads off the 6th. Baez on in relief of Frias. Mike Schmidt, the third baseman who ever played, 490 home runs. Then came Chipper Jones and Adrian Beltre, and then Aramis Ramirez. In case you're wondering, Ron Cey 9th all time with 296 home runs. Tim Wallach, the Dodger bench coach, ranks 14th all time with 249. Wade Boggs more hits than any other third baseman in the game all time, then Adrian Beltre, then Chipper Jones, and then this fellow. George Brett had more than 3,000 hits, but only about 2,000 or so as a third baseman. The other hits came as a first baseman or a DH. On 3 and 2. Got him! 97.
He goes upstairs with 97. That's really hard to catch up to. I don't care how much veteran status you have.
Well, the Dodger bullpen, which was such a disappointment last year, has helped carry the freight so far this season, Alana.
Well, probably the biggest question, Charlie, going into the season, and they have provided a lot of answers for this club early on. 85 innings pitched so far, 18th most in Major League Baseball, but they rank first in home runs allowed, third in ERA with an ERA below 2, third in strikeouts, fifth in opponent's average, just continuing to rank up there at the highest level around Major League Baseball. And these are guys that don't have necessarily a defined role. Chuck Krim saying that they've all put their egos to the side, and right now without Kenley Jansen in there, they don't have a role, but they're performing in whatever inning they're given.
And Kenley is maybe a week or so away. Gerardo Parra, 1 ball and no strikes. Parra 1 for 2. Has singled and driven in a run. The Dodgers 7-3 after scoring 4 in the top of the 6th, 1 out in the bottom half. Slowly hit to second. Kendrick will throw out Parra, 2 gone. Of the numbers that Alana rolled out, the fact that the Dodgers are 18th in innings pitched out of the bullpen is a good thing. They're not taxed as they were early on last year when the starters didn't go much beyond 5. So the starters are giving them some length, and the bullpen is not being taxed early on. And when they do come in, they've been lights out.
Yeah, we're not getting what would culturally be accepted as really deep games by our starters, but we have not carried a really deep bench, so we have more arms in the bullpen, and we've turned over some of the arms, especially the long men and our 5th starter. So the wear and tear numbers are down, and that extra arm in the bullpen and rotating that 5th starter, if at any time there is a week where they're taxed a little bit too much, it's not that you really look to the starters to really eat those innings to take the pressure off the bullpen. You just look to another arm.
Brandon League was throwing on the sideline prior to the game today. He's been on the DL all year. Chris Davis takes low, 2 balls and no strikes.
The days of a 10-man pitching staff or even an 11-man pitching staff have gone by the wayside. 12 is kind of the norm, and sometimes even 13.
For a couple of days this past week, the Dodgers had 9 relievers.
So when your starters are only going 5 or 6, you can complain, but you have to remember there is a war chest of relievers behind them.
I think it's impressive that you wouldn't think they'd be 18th, like you mentioned, Charlie, when you have a starting rotation that there's 2 guys down and they're constantly rotating those guys, and usually you really rely on your bullpen to even throw a lot more in those 2 starts.
Well, you expect that Kershaw and Greinke are going to give you 7, and then Brett Anderson is gradually increasing his performances. Then after that, as we were talking in the open, there's a casting call for starters 4 and 5 in the rotation. Frias did a nice job today. Kept the Dodgers in the game. 3 runs and 6 hits in 5 innings. Davis a 2-out walk.
Well, statistically, the numbers are starting to show that there are very few pitchers in the big leagues that can go a 3rd time through the order without the batting averages of the opposing team really starting to escalate to 60 to 70 to 80 points higher. But the first time you face a borderline pitcher, even his numbers are lower in the first time you see him than the 3rd time you see an exceptional pitcher. And also then take the value of what it would take to get that first time you see a guy coming out of the bullpen. It takes possibly one of your bench players away. So they got to have the value of the bench player, the extra bat or extra utility player, compared to the extra reliever, and they're finding the extra reliever has more value.
And that extra reliever is throwing 96 or 97.
And that's the next statistical thing that they're finding.
Centeno, the catcher, swings and misses, nothing in 1.
No matter what a guy throws in his complete arsenal, if he can throw above 93 miles an hour, he has a better chance of getting people out, no matter what his secondary stuff is, no matter how many. You can't let him see a batting order twice, but you can let a guy who throws above 93 see somebody once or.
Centeno, ground ball to Kendrick. And this will end the inning. Mission accomplished for Pedro Baez. No runs, no hits, a strikeout, a walk, nobody left. We go to the 7th. Dodgers lead 7-3. Nice job today as we follow his journey from the Dominican Republic to Los Angeles. Plus our cameras capture a day in the life with pitcher Sergio Santos. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers tonight at 7 right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Net. Chicago born and bred Neil Kotz, his 12th appearance. Played collegiately in the Missouri Valley Conference in Bloomington Normal at Illinois State. Kotz came up with the White Sox. 3 years with the Cubs, his first year with the Brewers. He pitched on Tuesday night. 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs and 2 hits. Rollins hit the home run off him, and Adrian Gonzalez's 447-foot blast came off Kotz. And guess who's leading off for the Dodgers in the 7th? Gonzalez today is 1 for 3, 2 more runs batted in. In his career, has an on-base percentage at Miller Park of over 500. Hitting .375 on the season. He's human after all. First out of the 7th.
Kotz is thinking, where was that swing and where was that pitch the other night? Going into that bat before Adrian hit that mammoth home run. Kotz had retired 19 left-handed batters in a row.
But on behalf of all southpaws everywhere, Adrian Gonzalez paid back with interest. What a shot that was. Guerrero with a 436-foot home run of his own this afternoon. His 6th of the season. He's flied to right. He's walked and scored 2. Dodgers 7-3. And Guerrero is.
Yeah, that ball hit him. Looked like it hit him. The back foot.
That's Stan Conti, the head trainer.
Well, that's his front foot.
It definitely, he got his back foot there. It's his back foot. He's holding his right leg.
Oh, you're right. Little slider down in.
Little of it's not your foot.
Minor surgery is surgery that is performed on someone else. All surgery on yourself is major.
So is an ingrown toenail. Ethier has tripled, scored a run, been walked, and lined to second. Uribe on deck. The Dodgers lead by 4. One ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Dodgers hit the road, go to Colorado, where the weather is miserable and will be through the weekend. Rain, temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and we may see flurries on Sunday.
It's when the clubbies have to pack all kinds of gear.
And still, it's never enough. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ethier at .296, 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. As headline making as Peterson, Gonzalez, Guerrero have been, he's been steady as she goes. Ethier. Oh, look at the play by Scooter Gennett.
Been talking about Andre. We're talking about him having a great year so far as we look at the slow-mo cam brought to you by Morongo, and then you get frustrated here like, all right, I think I stayed inside the lefty, getting the ball up the middle, and you get Scooter Gennett making a great play on you to get the force out at second.
A near Joe Panik World Series kind of play. Uribe takes in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Stan Conti examining Alex Guerrero's instep there. Wants him to push off his big toe and see if he's got his strength.
Well, I'll tell you, there's 2 spots you worry about. I mean, when you get hit in the hand, you think about all the bones in your hand. You worry about, like, all right, I hope everything's okay. And also when you get hit in your feet, a lot of little bones there as well.
Jonathan Lucroy's on the disabled list. Their all-star catcher, broken toe. Three balls and no strikes to Uribe. 2 out in the 7th. Kike Hernandez on deck. And Uribe with a shot to left. It is, however, going to stay in the ballpark for Chris Davis. No runs, no hits. Hit batter, and that's that. 7th inning stretch, 7-3 Dodgers. Alex Guerrero seeing the ball real good as he cracked his 6th home run of the year. He has hit a home run. He's walked, scored 2, hit by a pitch, been on base in 3 of his 4 plate appearances. Former Dodger Elian Herrera leading off in the bottom of the 7th. Pinch hitting for Neil Cutts. Herrera, switch hitter. And Baez beginning his 2nd inning of relief. For Baez, 12th appearance, and it's the 4th time he's gone longer than an inning. And Herrera with a fly ball straight away center field. That's Jock Peterson. And that's the first out of the 7th. Come on out to Dodger Stadium. May the 12th. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance to receive a Clayton Kershaw bobblehead that celebrates his historic 2014 season. Presented by Coca-Cola. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Gene Segura 0 for 3 has bounced to first and struck out twice. One-time Angel at 274. Takes a strike and it's 0-1. The only ray of sunshine now is out in left field. Everything else either in shadow or certainly under the roof. Scooter Gennett is on deck. Gennett, a left-hander, in the on-deck circle. Adam Lipitor is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. So conceivably, Segura could be Baez's last hitter. 1-2. Again, how Mattingly and Honeycutt parcel out the use of their bullpen. Not only today, not only for the weekend. As we mentioned earlier, between now and the 2nd of July, the Dodgers have a grand total of 3 days off. And 4 days off the month of April. 2 this month and 1 in June.
Well, the extra body in the bullpen allows you to play matchup also. Can go to the bullpen sooner, an inning early, not get as many innings out of your starters, not worry about that 3rd or 4th time around the order, and then you also can play matchup a little sooner.
Dodgers with 3 lefties in the bullpen beside Lipitor, J.P. Howell, and Paco Rodriguez. Here's the 1-2. 97. 2 out. Second strikeout for Baez.
Take a look at pitch tracks on the right of your screen right there. Take the location just at the top of the strike zone. That's what, so perfect pitch. It's too high to catch up to, but just high enough to be considered a strike.
Don Mattingly coming out, making a double switch. You see Chris Heisey taking over for Guerrero in left. Adam Lipitor is coming in. Baez terrific today. An inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts and a walk. And Lipitor has given up 1 base runner in his major league career. We'll see him work when we come back. Not a misprint. He has retired 21 of the first 22 batters he has faced. A.J. Ellis, one of a handful of Dodgers, very happy to be in Wisconsin this week. Got to sleep in his own bed the past few nights, Alana.
He did. He lives in Franklin, Wisconsin. That's where his wife Cindy's family is from. Of course, AJ was born in Missouri, grew up in Kentucky, spent some time in Maryland. By population, though, guys, Wisconsin, the 20th largest state, also the 20th in Major League Baseball players produced with 234, according to the Wisconsin State Journal. 4 Hall of Famers, Al Simmons, Burley Grimms, Kid Nichols, and Addie Joss. Simmons, the only non-pitcher, and none of those guys were born after 1902.
Well, there's room for AJ. Why not?
No argument here, Charlie.
Okay. Meanwhile, here's Liberatore. And a fly ball to center field. And there's Jock Peterson cracking it down. And that ends the inning. Liberatore has now faced 23 hitters in his big league career, and he's retired 22 of them. We go to the 8th, 7-3 Dodgers. Very lovely play in center field by Jock Peterson, who we have come to watch and admire his defensive work.
2 outs, nobody on. Watch the first step right here and then the route. I mean, we take for granted when you have a center fielder, but this guy really plays center field. And right there, he proved that just routine is not routine. That's Andre Ethier complimenting him. They're just kind of bumping on the way in because even Andre knows that's not routine what he does. The ground he covers, the routes that he runs, and the first step that he gets. Showed he went left there. The other night, he went right and into the corner up against the wall. It was amazing.
I mean, when you see something like that playing behind you, does it just change the way you attack hitters and allow you to just be
just a little bit free and easy when you get the outs you're supposed to get, and then you get some other ones the other night.
That you're not supposed to get.
Yeah, this is one you're not supposed to get, and you just feel like it just puts wind into your sails.
I mean, especially when you see him going, okay, how much ground he has to cover, and then you recognize, you see it as a pitcher, everyone else sees it, it's going in that corner, and he's still willing to make the catch and sacrifice the body.
Kike Hernandez is 1 for 3. Peterson to bat third in the inning. Heisey in the on-deck circle. He'll get his first at-bat. Dodgers with a 4-run 6th, and that's the difference in the game. 7-3 as we begin the 8th. Rob Wooten is the 4th Brewer pitcher of the day. Wooten pitched a third of an inning on Tuesday night. Outside, 1-2 to Hernandez, who's fouled to first, struck out, doubled and scored a run today, giving Jimmy Rollins the afternoon off. Enrique Kike Hernandez. He can play all over the field. And today starting at short. Came over from the Marlins. And he banked a clean single into center field to begin the 8th inning.
It looked like Wooten kind of dropped down a little bit on this pitch, almost trying to trick him, but Kike stays with it. I mean, we saw Kike also drive the ball to right center for his double. And he takes this one and drives it right back up the middle.
Chris Heisey activated today. Joe Whelan sent back. Heisey takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Heisey in 5 years in Cincinnati. As you look at Hernandez being held on by Adam Lind. 247 and 147 runs batted in. Hernandez can run. Heisey was hitting 246 at Oklahoma City, 7 home runs. Had a really tough spring, and it was just too much competition for him. But they know he can catch the ball. He's always been a very good pinch hitter, good speed. Went around, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm just thinking about it. Okay, Jock Peterson, Yasiel Puig, Andre Ethier, Carl Crawford, Van Slyke, Guerrero now the way he loses. Yeah, a lot of competition.
Hello, Oklahoma City. But it's been fascinating how Farhan Zaidi and Andrew Friedman have been using the roster. Guys coming up, guys going back down, those who have options. They go with 4 bench players or 5. Now Heisey is the 5th bench player, high and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 with Peterson on deck. And he takes outside 3 and 2. So the front office has been working overtime. Alana?
No question about it. Recalling outfielder Chris Heisey today, optioning right-handed pitcher Joe Whelan back to AAA yesterday's starter. The Los Angeles Dodgers guys have now made 56 roster moves since opening day. It's the most in Major League Baseball, second only to Andrew Friedman's former team, the Tampa Bay Rays. They're in second place. You have to kind of keep your head on a swivel in the clubhouse these days to keep up with all the new faces walking in and out. The guys just, know absolutely now. Don Mattingly was saying earlier today that they kind of know if they're coming up, how long they're going to be.
Heisey walks. The Dodgers have first and second and nobody out. The Dodgers have used 35 different players through the first now 28 games.
Milana touched on it, that when they get called up, they pretty much know, and I think that's the key, is just the communication with the guys getting called up and then being sent back down. And I think now for those that are here, the regular guys, they understand now and see that this is going to be happening. They never know. They might get a new teammate and say, okay, well, I didn't meet you at spring training. Let me introduce myself.
The 25th man on the roster is kind of like a Terminator or a Robo player, where they have options, right? And they keep younger players there to make sure they can move them back and forth. And if we're going into a city which has a lot of left-handed relievers, you might go with a right-hander on the bench. Going somebody will the other way around. You're looking for a piece to match the series.
That's what they've done, and that's what they're doing. It's been a while since Peterson has gotten a base hit that's not been a home run. Like 8 days. Each of his last 7 hits have been home runs. One ball, 2 strikes. And in terms of the players coming and going, 5 starters, 3 relievers, and a position player. Whelan, Bolsinger, Baker, Huff, and Frias. Actually 6 starters. Libator, Santos, and Colomb relievers. and Chris Heisey, who just walked. 10 have come and or gone. Peterson down on strikes, so this afternoon 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. That's the first out of the 8th. And here's Grandal, who is 2 for 2, 2 walks, 2 RBIs, and a run scored today, steps in. Grandal has lifted his average to 282. After the completion of the game last Thursday, Yasmani Grandal was hitting 189. He's lifted his average nearly 100 points this week. 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Two runs batted in this afternoon. Hernandez good speed at second, Heisey good speed at first, and Grandal takes a strike.
Perfect example of a hitter as you're going over the scouting report as a starting pitcher, or even guys in the bullpen, who has moved from he's lost and just let's attack him to he's hot and watch out. It's not about just career statistics or scouting reports of just the numbers, how they do against left, how they do against right. It's who's hot, who's not.
And drilled to right. If it's fair, it is gone, and it is both. A 3-run home run for Yasmani Grandal. A 3-run shot. 5 runs batted in this afternoon for the Dodger catcher. For Grandal, his 3rd home run of the year, now has 9 runs batted in, and the Dodgers lead by a touchdown and an extra point.
The base hit he got in his last at bat was a fastball low and in. He hit a ground ball through the hole. Well, this was an off-speed pitch, kind of in the same location, but he got under it.
You know, we showed a hot zone a couple of days ago where it was balls out over the plate that he was squaring up and hitting very well, and it was all fastball, cut, slider, didn't matter what it was. But now he's covering more of the plate, like you said, down and in this time, and he just gets extension there and squares it up and knew it right off the bat.
Adrian's ball to center field, and that ball might have been 2 hardest hit balls in the series.
Guerrero let one go. Guerrero's the one today.
Too, yeah.
Now Kendrick, who's 1 for 4. Yasmani Grandal is the big piece in the Matt Kemp trade. And he has paid off quite nicely to this point. Kendrick slices it foul and out of play. On a daily basis defensively, blocking those balls in the dirt. Been a steady improvement from the beginning of spring until today. Somebody's got a souvenir. Just don't throw it back. So the Dodgers 10 runs and 10 hits. And Kendrick checks his swing. 3-2. Gonzalez on deck. Wooten deals. Inside, Kendrick takes a walk. And here comes Gonzalez.
Not only the Dodgers showing power today, but showing patience too when they don't get strikes. 7 walks.
Dodgers entered the game second in the National League, having scored 129 runs. Well, they've Hit a couple of more home runs today. Now it's 46. They lead the majors in that category.
You know, we've talked about this Dodger lineup, and we've said, you know, the term, they seem to grind it out. They have length in this lineup. Well, that grinding is represented today, and it's, you get 4 runs in the 6th inning, and it looks like they're under control. Their bullpen's doing a good job, but these guys are still having quality at bats out of there, still are attacking the opposing pitcher, still taking their walks, they're hitting home runs. This is what we mean by grinding the at bats. It's not always just working a walk or taking pitches. It's making it difficult on the opposing pitcher, even when it seems like, man, they have this game under control, or it seems that way. They're not going to give up, whether they're ahead, whether they're behind, and other teams recognize that.
And now with the Dodgers leading by 7, Adam Lipitor gets an at bat. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Yasmani Grandal has had a great week.
Or a guy like Lipitor, guy in the bullpen, doesn't get many at bats. Are you telling him, listen, don't swing the bat. We don't want you to hurt yourself.
Don't hurt yourself.
Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even have him swing. I just have him stand up there. Especially, you could see there's no approach of him even thinking about it. So,
other than smiling.
Batting left-handed, being a left-handed thrower, you know, a chance to really hyperextend that arm. Just go stand up there, Adam.
Don't let it hit you.
Right.
You don't have to hit it. Don't let it hit you. Mission accomplished. Well, the Dodgers come up with 3 more runs. Ain't it Grandal? One app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Sergio Santos now on in relief as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And what has turned out to be a cakewalk for the Dodgers, and so much good news coming out of this game. Frias gave him 5 solid innings, 3 runs and 6 hits. The bullpen has continued to be terrific. Lipitor has retired 22 of the first 23 batters he has faced at the major league level. Santos, the 4th Dodger pitcher of the day. Yasmani Grandal with 5 runs batted in, most of any Dodger hitter in a game this year. Grandal came into the game with 4 runs on the season, batted in, 5 this afternoon, and is hitting .292 at the moment. In the hole and into left field, a base hit for Ryan Braun beginning the bottom of the 8th against Sergio Santos.
You know, it looks like the Dodgers are going to salvage a split, and it really was a good series, even though they're going to come out of it with a split. It really should have won 3 out of 4. If Clayton could have gotten 1 more out, maybe get Adam Lind out in game 1, and or Chris Hatcher comes in and can shut the door, and even the offense in that game not being able to tack on. Other than that, it's been a pretty clean series.
10 runs and 10 hits this afternoon. Got a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Adam Lind, is 2 for 3, a single and a home run, 2 runs batted in. He's been Milwaukee's best and most consistent hitter through the first 5 weeks of the season. Santos falls behind 2-0. Baez an inning and 2/3, gave up nothing. Liberatore a third of an inning. Santos falls behind 3-0. It is the last thing in the world you want to do with a 7-run lead. Santos's 6th appearance, an ERA of 2.25. And a 4-pitch walk, and he's digging himself a hole right away.
It's really hard to simulate pressure, and you've got to play some really good mind games on yourself when you come out of the bullpen with your team either way ahead or way behind. You've got to figure out a way to get that intensity, because that last bit of intensity or adrenaline is that fine focus you need sometimes to really compete at this level.
And again, keeping in mind the strangeness of the schedule coming up for the Dodgers. 3 days of bad weather in Denver, and between now and July the 2nd, just 3 days off. So using the bullpen as judiciously as possible is part of the deal for Don Mattingly and Rick Honeycutt. And ideally, they'd like to get at least an inning out of Santos and maybe just finish things up with a 10-3 lead. Into center. Peterson is there.
Well, we've seen him go to his left. We saw him go to his right the other day and crash into the wall, and that one right over his head. Sometimes one of the hardest balls that you're going to have to catch and read on where to go, because you don't have that third dimension.
Jock just makes it look really easy.
He does.
When he's running, he seems to be gliding out there, and he also, when he runs, his head doesn't move. Even when he's in a full sprint, his head doesn't bob up and down as he's running to the ball.
He's on his toes, not his heels.
Exactly right.
Gerardo Parra 1 for 3, first and third, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Into right, and there is Ethier. Tagging is Braun. He'll score to make it 10-4, and there's 2 out. So a sacrifice fly for Parra, his 2nd RBI of the day. Dodgers lead is 6. Chris Davis 1 for 2 and a walk. Dodgers with 10 hits to go with those 10 runs. Milwaukee 4 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Excuse me. Davis, a Southern California boy.
He is. Played at Cal State Fulton. We were talking about it yesterday, how his father, Rodney, was a scout, and I actually played under him when I was 13 years old, was my coach.
And then there's Sergio Santos. This is the Garcia Parra family tree.
Right. Sergio played when he was younger with my younger brother. They played together in a travel ball team. My dad was one of the coaches on that team. So. Youth baseball in Southern California.
Could play all year round. Into short right. Ethier. That's that. Brewers come up with a run and a hit. Leave one. We go to the ninth. Dodgers 10-4. As he talks about the success in his first year with the club, and has certainly bled over into the second season and what his hopes are for the new year. Don't miss Connected with Justin Turner Saturday night at 9 on Sportsnet LA. Andre Ethier to lead it off for the Dodgers in the ninth. As the Dodgers get ready to board the charter and head off to Denver. Ethier today has a triple. He's also walked, lined out, and bounced out. One ball and one strike to Andre Ethier at .292 with 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Uribe and Hernandez to follow. Wooten's second inning of relief from Milwaukee delivers a strike, and it's 1-2. Now the 1-2 is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
These are those at bats you talk about, Nomar, where you feel good about your day or bad about your day. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. And all of a sudden he's got that 5th time up there.
Yeah, and then you have that, you hit that one up the middle that could have been a base hit, and you have second baseman diving and taking it away from you. You also line out in your your first at bat to second base. But yeah, so this is one of those that really changes. I mean, first and foremost, care about, you just want to win the game.
Right.
But you're talking about from.
Yeah. The game seems to be pretty much in hand. That's
right.
Andre's hitting for himself right here.
Playing with a little house money on 3 and 2. Works out the walk.
for him.
And here comes Uribe.
I always thought it was interesting what you said too about when you move a guy down in the order when he's cold at the top of the order to try and prevent that 4th or 5th at bat, because if they scratch out that one hit, they have more confidence and feel better about themselves going home.
Yeah, a 1 for 3 feels a lot different than that 1 for 4.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, it was 1 for 3, and then if I worked out that walk and I feel pretty good, or I can get that 4th at bat.
So everybody thinks, oh, you move down the order, it's going to shatter a guy's confidence. When you move him down in the order and prevent that last at bat, you actually start to build their confidence.
Right. Uribe 1 out of 4. One ball, 2 strikes. Brewer fans.
She looked like she was taking a little cat nap. All of a sudden, woke up.
Elian Herrera. Got it. Now Kike Hernandez coming in. He's got a single and a double and 2 runs scored. Not bad for Jimmy Rollins' understudy today. 10 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Brewers. Dodgers have left 7 men on base, Milwaukee 6. And if all goes according to Hoyle, Carlos Frias will go to 3-0. Went 5 innings, 3 runs, and 6 hits. Mike Fiers, Milwaukee's starter, went 5 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits, 5 walks. 2 more home runs for the Dodgers today. Guerrero, a 3-run shot for Grandal. Yasmani Grandal equals a career high 5 runs batted in a game, and the 5 RBIs, the most by any Dodger hitter this year. What a week he has had, Yasmani Grandal. He's lifted his average about 100 points.
It just seems like we've always got somebody hot.
I was just going to say, 1 through 8, you had the player of the month in Gonzalez. You had the rookie player of the month in Guerrero, and Peterson, I think, was second in the voting. Then you got Grandal, who's red hot. Kendrick was hitting 340 for a time.
And you know what? Even Andre Ethier has been hot.
He's just been solid.
Yeah. And so when you have so many guys that can kind of maintain it.
A liner to left.
Got a lot of guys that you can just say, hop on my back, I'll carry you for a while.
It's been Grandal's week. Talking with Rick Honeycutt. Better than 28,000 watching the game today. Chris Heisey, this is his second plate appearance. He walked part of a double switch in the 8th inning. Brewers took a 1-0 lead in the first. A 2-out walk to Braun. He stole a base. Lind with a RBI single. Dodgers would even the score in the 2nd inning on a home run by Alex Guerrero that traveled 436 feet. Dodgers would tack on 2 more in the 3rd, then 4 runs in the 6th inning when they sent 8 batters to the plate. And then a 3-run home run for Yasmani Grandal in the 8th. Heisey takes a strike. whacked foul. Later on, the Padres are in Arizona. Liner off to the left and foul. And Miami is at San Francisco. When play began today, the Dodgers had a 3-game lead on the Padres, 3.5 over the Giants, 4.5 over Arizona, and 5.5 against the Rockies. Outside, ball 4. Dodgers first and second, 2 out. And here comes Jock Peterson. And here comes Craig Counsell. And he'll be bringing in Will Smith in all likelihood. For the Dodgers, 2 on, 2 out. Looking for a little gravy. Leading at 10-4. Second round pick of the Dodgers back in 2002. Now 30 years of age. And he looks considerably slimmer than when we saw him last. So Broxton getting a little bit of work. Broxton made his Dodger debut in 2005. He was part of that. That group came up en masse from Jacksonville. With Kemp and Martin, LaRoche, Loney. Ethier wasn't exactly part of that group because he came over in a trade, but there was an influx of young talent 10 years ago. And that got a piece of Juan Centeno. Somebody come out and help him. Well, there's not much anything can be done about that. Trainer might as well bring a paintbrush. You okay? Yeah, I'm great. I'm just doing fine. Yeah.
What do I ask you the obvious question? Knowing the obvious answer?
Hi, I'm Frankie Valli from the Four Seasons. No balls and a strike. Peterson to right field for a base hit. He does something other than hit home runs. He singles to right, and in to score is Ethier. The Dodgers make it 11-4. That is the first non-home run hit by Jock Peterson in 8 days. He knocks in his 19th with the single to right.
Just stays on a fastball, stays down and through it, doesn't do too much with it. The bat speed is enough to drive it through the hole.
We're like, oh my goodness, is he okay?
That's all I get is a single?
Right. He's got a fever.
Is that all I get? Well, Grandal has had a grand day. A single. If that was a fish, he would throw it back. Where things have been going. Well, Jock Peterson, certainly an early serious candidate for Rookie of the Year.
There's a few of them on this team. Yimi Garcia, Jock, Alex Guerrero. Don't we have the most, Charlie? Most rookies on the roster?
9 at one point.
Izzy's not a rookie, so we lost John Whelan, who was a rookie on the roster yesterday, and gained a veteran. Average age went way up.
Grandal today, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3-run home run, 5 runs batted in.
It's not over yet. He's not getting fooled in this at bat.
Having one of the best days of his career, Yasmani Grandal. 5 runs batted in, 2 on, 2 out. And it's 3-2. Kendrick is on deck.
Jonathan Broxton knows how hot he is. Shook 3 times to get to a 2-2 slider there in an 11-4 game. I'm not taking anything for granted with that bat at the plate.
Heisey is at second. Peterson is at first. There they go. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball left field. Davis going back. He is at the wall. He leaps and he's hit a home run. Yasmani Grandal. Another 3-run shot. Consecutive 3-run home runs. Grandal now with 8 runs batted in. It is 14-4.
Well, he's getting the pitch down and in that he's turning on. Now the one over the plate, going the opposite way, hitting the ball to all fields, showing the power. And what an incredible day, reaching base 6 times. 8 RBIs.
And Kendrick singles to center.
Yeah, he just wants to get in on the action. He's like, listen, I know I've been swinging the bat well. I haven't had much to show for it. I want to work on some things, and goes back up the middle. But for Yasmani Grandal, wow. He's got my vote for player of the game. I'm just going to let you know right now. Is that okay?
You may be on to something.
I'm Captain Obvious over here.
They learned you're real good at Georgia
yes.
Tech. Adrian Gonzalez. So the Dodgers just pounding out the home runs. 3 more today. Grandal with 2 of them. 47 on the season. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I don't think I've seen Adrian be that indecisive on a pitch this year.
It looked like he was guessing slider and got fastball and just kind of disengaged.
One ball, 2 strikes. The 14 runs for the Dodgers today, the most this season. Down goes Gonzalez, and that ends the inning. But the Dodgers come up with 4 more on another 3-run home run for that man, Yasmani Grandal. Dodgers now just clean up the small details in the bottom of the 9th. Yasmani Grandal, who went 4 for 4, 2 3-run home runs, knocked in 8. He began the day hitting .261, and he finishes the day hitting .301. He was hitting a .179 last week. Player of the week, anyone?
He'll get my vote for that too.
Number 1.
Just in case you're wondering.
And you majored in what?
Without looking around the league, if you took him, I think you got a shot.
Yeah. I'm just going out there.
You got a shot.
Line to left and right at Heisey. That's the first out of the 9th. Now here's Elian Herrera coming up. Dodgers with the season high 14 runs, but the season high in hits was 16 at Arizona last month. Lined into center field for a 1-out single in the 9th for Elian Herrera. The performance for Yasmani Grandal. Reminder, we're going to Colorado, of course, after the plane, and I hope you brought your sweaters. 9 years ago, James Loney knocked in 9 at Coors Field. And nobody's had as many RBIs as that since Grandal this afternoon with 8. Young James Loney. Gene Segura is 0 for 4. Struck out 3 times today. Chopper to first. Santos covering. That's the second out of the ninth. So the Dodgers are an out away from going 8 over 500. 3.5 in front of San Diego. Hector Gomez. Is pinch hitting here with 2 out. Santos deals. So 3 more home runs for the Dodgers today. 47 on the year. They hit 9 in this series. 1 on Monday, 3 on Tuesday, 2 last night, and 3 this afternoon. Grandal's hit 2 today. Guerrero hit 1. Peterson hit 2 last night. Turner, Gonzalez, and Rollins hit ones on Tuesday night. And Peterson hit 1 on Monday night. 0-2. Next stop, Denver. The Dodgers rout the Milwaukee Brewers on getaway day. 14-4 for the Dodgers. 14 runs, 13 hits, no errors. They left 8 for the Brewers. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and they left 7. Frias wins it. He's now 3-0. Fires loses it. He is 1-4. So that's a wrap for us from Miller Park. For Alana Rizzo, Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Charlie Steiner saying good night and goodbye. Next stop, Denver. Now we send it back to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Nissan. Talk to you tomorrow.